Okay, you're all welcome to today's live stream, and it's a privilege to have you, every one of you here. I'm Dao Settle, the most handsome, yakable Africanicious, adrenaline pumping a physical husband, and I have beside me my beautiful wife.
You're welcome to the live stream today. It's a pleasure to have you around. Thank you so very much.
Okay, now looking at this report, I find it somehow interesting that number one, Germany trying to reconcile with Africa, with Nigeria, with respect to what was done in the past against us, especially coming into one of the most outstanding kingdom, the Benin Empire, that ruled, that reigned here in Nigeria, in Africa, as of that period, coming into the Benin Empire, destabilizing it, destroying a whole lot of lives, taking a whole lot of lives, and cutting away with such masterpiece of art, which is even more than art, because a lot of persons just see this masterpiece as works of art. But tonight, I'm going to be a little bit into the other part that has been turned or tuned down, because to you, you might think you are taking an artifact, but to an average Benin man, to an average Edo man, as they are called now, the Benin people that were involved with those work of art, the bronze work, so many of them take it as far as a faith, a belief system, a culture that talks about who they are, how they reason, how they live their life, and how their trust have been connected to the spirit realm. So you taking that out of the people's and to the extent that certain number of people were killed, not even just killed now, people were massacred just because you want to take what belongs to us, what belongs to our people, what belongs to the people of the Benin Empire, the Benin Kingdom. I don't think there is anything like saying they just took away. That was stealing. Those that perpetrated this evil, either it is the Britain or is what's it called, the German, whatever color, whatever country they belongs to, what they have just done was to massacre people and steal from them. And I'm beginning to ask myself if this is actually true. If this is actually true, if this is actually true, then who are the real thieves? And you are talking about people corrupt and the likes. And this generation that we are in now, they are very fast at pointing accusing finger to the continent of Africa. Oh, Africa is this, Africa is that. But what you have stolen, or what your forefathers have stolen from Africa, is still being kept by you till date, to the extent that in the report, at least you can hear the report, is not my voice. The report has it that United Kingdom has over 900 pieces of such works of art, and they have refused to return it. That is stealing by your forefathers, senior stealing by you that you are around now, because you are refusing to make right the wrong that your forefathers have committed. And also, it's not just about returning now, because it has gone beyond returning. Returning is fine, is needed. In short, it is the right thing to do. It's urgent that is return. The other part of it is the fact that whatever money that those Benin works of art have generated to you should be calculated, and interest needs to be paid, because you guys know that when it comes to Africa, the kind of interest rate that is charged to Africa. I'm just sharing this. If you have a contrary opinion or you support what I'm saying, I will rightly be happy if you can join us on this live stream. Kindly join us live via this link that I'm sharing so that we can hear your opinion. And in case you cannot join, you can comment below. Because when it comes to loaning anything to Africa, you see that the rate of interest that is allotted to Africans, those that are really, really in need of such money, such help, is higher than what they will probably charge the developed countries of the world. And as such, I think majority of these Western countries are owing Africa a lot. And such calculations need to be made with interest, because you have the stolen artifacts in your museum for large numbers of years.
Yes.
People are paying to come and see the masterpiece of artwork that was done in Africa, of which you even ended up killing majority of those that are securing the artwork, majority of those that created such beautiful masterpiece of art. And another question is, do you think the Western world just needed this artwork for just stealing it for stealing's sake? Or there is a spiritual undertone to it? Okay, I think I have Jim in house here. Jim, how are you tonight?
Very well. Happy holidays to you. I'm hoping that the chicken thing is going well. I was trying to understand exactly what you were saying just earlier, and I thought you had a really nice stream a couple of weeks ago, and you were talking about monarchies. And I think one of the things that people kind of forget, that there's different institutions that can be considered monarchies, and one of them happens to be like religion. And I always kept on thinking, like, because your story is like, it's brutal, it's a horrible story, but I'm always thinking, like, to myself, what facilitated, right? Like you're saying, like, what created the situation for this problem? I mean, it's a simple question. Where did it come from? How did it get financed? All these little, interesting little, well, if you look back at it, most of it has to do with what I think is a monarchy in religions, and that religions fight these wars, and that they be called, clandestine. They try to prophesize themselves as kings or something. That's what I was, but yeah, excellent point about what created the problem is the real issue here.
Okay. Thank you so very much, Jim, because I was just looking at, could it, I don't want to believe that it's just because you want to steal something that is work of art that anybody could have sat down to produce in his country, that is going to make you to want to kill thousands or hundreds of people just to steal that, when you can actually even negotiate.
Right.
Because if you come to Africa, if you come to Lagos, for example, there are certain places in Lagos market where some of these crafts are being created.
Yes.
Some of these bronze, metal works and the likes are being created, beautifully designed and the likes. Now, I don't want to believe that for you to get that by way of transaction, if there is no other undertone, for you to now say, oh, I'm not going to transact, I'm going to actually come over, steal it, let's call it the way it is, steal it and
Right.
kill those that are in charge of it.
Right.
I think
we've talked about this before, where, look, if it just happens to be white Caucasian Europeans, it just happens to be that if they cannot get their hands on something, they'll go to the source to get it and then take it over. So in other words, if you have, ancient cultural history from any other country, doesn't matter which one is, they seem to be in complete control. I don't know if there's certain things that I know I don't want to get your YouTube channel a strike, so I wouldn't bring it up. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay, because you both of us know this. There is a hidden secret something. It's a society of people. Let's just put it that way. And by far, they've been in control for a long time, and we do know this. It's just interesting that there's a certain type of religion tied to those people, and if you really know who those people are, you would know what religion they are, because they wrote certain parts of the Bible. You know, they're the ones that are what they would call the Gnostic. And if you know where the Gnostics came from, it's an interesting history, because these religions now have all become one. Islam, Muslim, well, Muslims are a little different, but the Christianity, the Judaism, and the Muslim, is it Islam? No, it's Islam. Excuse me. It's Islam, Christianity, and Judaism all agree now on what they call the Noahide laws. Do you know about them?
No.
Oh, check it out. Go search Noah, Noahide, Noahide laws. Go look it up, and it's quite fascinating. It's like the 10 Commandments in the Bible, but it's from a different religion.
Wow.
And those people, and here in the United States, we have a thing. Who is this? I hope it's that one guy.
Hello, guys.
Okay, hello.
He's on the fly too, it looks like.
No, I'm in the train station. I'm in London. I'm trying to connect from Victoria, London, going to Leicester.
Okay.
So I forgot completely that there's 1 hour difference from London to Nigeria. It's not the same time like we are in Germany.
Okay.
So sorry, guys.
We're enjoying this view.
I'm just having fun all day since morning. I'm still in London.
We're enjoying this view with you. Please keep it up like this.
Okay, you guys want to see around? I can show you guys around.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can flip my camera. Can I flip my camera? Let me see.
Okay.
It's a very huge train station.
Wow.
This is London. It looks it's like an airport. It's so much crowd because people are traveling and all over the place.
Wow.
So this place is actually called. This is, what is this place called actually? Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Hey, what's this place called actually? This is where we are right now. Is it Euston? Yeah, London Euston. Okay. Yeah, we're in London Euston right now.
Okay.
But I've been in Victoria, London. London all day. And then we're just trying to connect with the train to go to Leicester. It's like 2 hours away from here.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, sorry to interrupt. And I said I have to definitely connect. So I'm going to be listening and I will come in on video when necessary. So
Okay.
go ahead, guys. Let me know when you need any information from me.
Okay. Yeah. No.
What we're actually talking about is the news, the issue that Germany. Coincidentally, Germany is where you just left. You just flew from Germany to UK. Now, where you just flew away from, where you are to where you are. In short, why is it like a web? Why is it like a web?
I actually use train anyway. I'm flying back, but
Okay.
I came by train and road.
Okay, now
from Germany to Paris was by train.
Whoa.
And then because the train from Paris to London, they are on strike because of whatever is going on. So I use a bus from Paris to London.
Okay. Now, Dr. Ojo, you are caught in between the web now. Where you have been staying for a while and where you have just moved to, they are the center of our discussion this night. Germany returns some of the artifacts that was stolen from the ancient Benin Kingdom, which is located right about now in Nigeria. They just returned some of the artifacts, the Benin bronze and the likes, back to Nigeria. Whereas their counterparts, where you flew or where you traveled to, the UK, they have refused to return over 900 pieces of such artifacts that were stolen from Nigeria, from Benin Empire, Benin Kingdom. Now, as if that is not enough, we're also looking at the cruelty with which they did not just steal, but they also what? Killed. They massacred a lot of persons to gain access to these treasured artifacts. And we all know that in Africa, a lot of beliefs are centered on things like these: sculptures, art, Benin bronze, some imageries and the like. So you stealing that from Africa, you did not just steal a metal piece from them, you are stealing away their personality, their perception about life, their faith, their belief system, their recognition of who they are, their mode of identification, their mode of alliance. So many of them even promise those things that you are taking as artifacts. Some of them are like gods to them. So many of them promise those gods that their children are going to continue to what? To worship and serve those gods that you stole from them. So
do you think that the pyramids have anything to do with Africa as being the central figure in all of these some of these religions, let's put it this way, go back to the Egypt? Now, what is your opinion? I would like to know this about if religions came out of, because Plato studied, the Egyptians. So, and, from a lot of things that came out from Plato, were transferred over to the Western society. So if you could give me an example of like how African cultures, such as in Egypt, are now today still prevalent. And okay, bye guys. Have a good time out there. Sorry. Family's just going out the door. And I just want to know, because I don't know how, what do you, because I want to hear from people that are in Africa and live from Africa. So I don't want to hear from anybody else that is not from there. You know what I'm trying to say?
Okay. Maybe in the course of the discussion, we'll jet into that and we'll explain further, unless we want to now say this, that the pyramid that you were referring to, if it is possible that the pyramid could have been stolen, then these guys would have stolen the pyramid. Yeah, they would have stolen the pyramid.
Well, they stole everything out of that too.
They would have stolen the actual pyramid, as in they would have carted it away down to the space and be like, oh, this is now the museum for the pyramids. Now,
and did you know they took the white stones off the side of the pyramids and they used them for homes. They built homes with them.
So that's to tell you that it's like some set of human beings in this world, regardless of the color, regardless of the exposure, they are born stealer. They are born to steal. They have Romanian blood variations running through their veins. Now, I ask this question: if you listen
but let's make a distinction. Do you think it's more of these people that are following a religion or a skin color? That's what I need to hear.
It's not about skin color. It's not about religion.
It's more about religion, right?
It's not even about religion.
Okay, give me let me hear this. What is it about?
It is all about personality. It's all about personality, who you are, and anywhere you get yourself.
Oh, so you're thinking it's on an individual basis instead of a collective.
Because even while they were perpetrating this evil, certain percentage of them that
That
were
were
against
against
it, but their voice could not be heard because
Correct. Because they
because
do need
they were
they do need the
silenced.
yes.
Because they were silent. So we cannot use. We are not saying this to now use the foolishness of few, of some. Don't let me say few, of some, to now generalize it on everyone.
Exactly. That's why you have to be very careful about how you state it. That's right.
So that is what we are talking about. If someone has this mindset of not being contented, I see them as not being all those that perpetrated this evil, whether black, white, pink, purple, indigo, Americans, Europeans, Germans, whatever country they found themselves, those countries are just places.
Yes.
The human are the perpetrators of this evil. You killed our forefathers, you kill people that have intellectual skills, natural abilities to create, to produce, to bring into existence what they conceptualize in their mind. You kill them and you stole away from them. Now, the reason why this is now becoming more painful is this that I have up here. It says, now, permanently loaning the artifact. That got me disgusted. Oh, so even Germany that is returning some, not all, that is returning some of the artifacts that were stolen. Does it mean that the DNA of their forefathers is still inside of them? That they are now saying, you know what? We are going to return some, whereas there are some that you will give us permanent loaning. How do you give conditions on what you stole? You stole, imagine somebody saying, oh, I stole your car. I'm coming now. Oh, Jim, please don't be angry. I just stole your car. I realize it's a bad thing. No, sorry, Jim, I did not steal your car. It was my dad that stole your car. My forefather stole your car. Now I realize that for my forefathers to have stolen your car is a very wrong thing to do. And I want to make it right. Now, getting to your doorstep, the next thing I say, you know what? On a second thought, because I think, Jim, you are a very nice guy. This car, I don't need to return it. I would like to keep this car permanently.
And
So
the curious part of it is that why do they want your artifacts? I'll tell you why.
We'll get to that part.
Okay.
We'll get to that part. Now, I want to keep your car, whereby I will now be giving you stipends. I will now be giving you stipends as loan to you. Whereas this particular artifact that you've stolen from Africa can be returned 100% back to Africa. If anybody wants to conduct studies, want to see the artifact, fly down to Africa and pay seriously to have access to see, so that there will be inflow.
Economic
because there are countries that are surviving on what's it called? On tourism.
Yes, now.
There are numerous countries that are surviving based on tourism. Those kind of artifacts are artifacts with storylines, with blood stain. Lives of people went for this. So these are artifacts that is not just to be in one museum that some little amount of money should be paid to visit. No. Some highly guarded museums, because we already know that those that stole it before, they can still steal it again. Now, what are we talking about? We'll now go to the next question. What is that important thing that you have seen in that artifact that want to make you to permanently keep some back?
And permanently loan.
And permanently loaning. Why?
Yeah.
You know why? Just my own thought. Number one, it is more than an artifact. It has a spiritual implication. If you want to defeat anybody, any man on earth, conquer him in the spirit realm, the physical is simple. And I want to believe that both the white, the black, the blue, the green, whatever skin color you carry, everyone understands the mystery behind the spiritual and the physical. And they are doing something far beyond just stealing an ordinary artifact.
Correct.
They are actually doing something that involves taking ownership of the spiritual control of human
Okay, let me jump in real quick. Look at the city of London, a private city within the city of England. Guess what it has? An obelisk. Where did they get that obelisk? Well, you know where they took that from. Guess where? Washington Capitol, Washington, D.C. There's a huge obelisk built out in front. Where did these obelisks get designed? Well, they were from anywhere that was out of Africa. I'll tell you that much. They are taking something spiritual and knowing what energy has, and they're utilizing it to control mass psychosis. Let's say, confuse the people.
I much agree with you, because if it is an ordinary thing, you return it back
Totally.
with apologies. But since it is far beyond ordinary thing, let me tell you a little story. I'm not just telling you blabbing. You don't joke with the Benin Empire. The Benin Empire is one of the ancient empire that the world can never exist without. I studied from the University of Benin. I spent 4 years within that empire, which is now called Edo State in Nigeria now. And I saw things that were super normal there. There was a particular time I decided to visit their museum. And before we entered, we were told, we were given some guidelines. There are no use of phones.
Right.
In certain area of the museum. They want us clearly, without mincing words, clearly that this section of the museum, don't even try to take a picture of a pin there. The reason being that if you try that those some of those artifacts that are there, they are not ordinary. They are spiritual emblems. And as such, the spirit behind that can attack you. When they were telling me that, I was like,
right, just through the image alone, correct? Is that what you're saying, right? Just the picture of it, right?
You can't take the picture of the image alone. There are some you dare not even touch. So
amazing. That is amazing.
When they mentioned that, I was like, as a student, I was in the university, I was like, what is that? What are they saying? Okay, let's get there so that I will see what they are talking about. Oh, so we have someone here. Autumn Rose. Hello from Oregon. Nice having you, Autumn Rose. You know what? I entered into this. I was enjoying my view. I was seeing the nice sculptures of the Benin Kingdom, very close to the Oba Palace. The next thing, we entered into this other room. Everywhere was somehow very dark. And the next image I will see, my spirit almost jumped out of me. I was scared. I can feel the presence of spirits in those sculptures. I could feel the presence of some subhumans in that environment. My head, you might not understand it, but let me express it how I felt that year. I was feeling that my head was becoming big. I was feeling cold sensations. There were some of them I could not just stay in front of the imageries. I just had to quickly move. And I said, wow, No wonder they asked us never to snap. And they gave us example that someone tried to snap, that something bad happened to the person. They explained that something bad happened to the person, and they are not going to take.
Right.
So now, no, it's not elevating this thing. So
Yeah,
what am I
they even said that the people that took out the tombs out of the Egyptian pyramids, they all died right after. Like, I
Okay.
mean, a lot of them.
You know the funniest stuff is that we are not trying to paint or eulogize whatever this thing, but what I believe is that let people's belief system be under their control. Don't twist them by force into your own belief system. Don't force them into taking what they believe in from them, because what you are doing is you are crushing their willpower, the power to defend
Right.
themselves. You are taking it away from them. You are taking away their spiritual backing, because some of
It's
these
the
people,
free will part of it. Let's just say, for example, if somebody has free will and they come into this earth and they're just, born as a baby, they have free will now. Does that person's free will go to the dark or to the light? And what they've got control of is over the spiritual aspect of the world is 80% of the dark, while the 20% of the light is all that is, but we're on a victory tour right here, right now. It's over. That's all over. So excuse me for interrupting.
So it's very painful that we are looking at this, and the news in just the news that I just played earlier, the video I played earlier, you saw how it was mentioned that the United Kingdom, that happens to be where Dr. Ojo is presently in, is having over 900 pieces of such sculptures locked up
They are not ready to return.
in their vault, in their museum, and they are using it to make money. Whereas the people you stole this from,
They are dying of hunger.
they are dying of hunger, they are dying of economic challenges under your nose, and you will now come up and say that they are the corrupt people. I think they should just shut up. They are the most corrupt people. In short, they are the world thieves. They are criminals that need to be properly addressed by their name. And we call them one name here, Holy. Holy means thieves. And it's not just thieves alone. They are armed robbers, because armed robbers will arm the owner, kill the owner, and go away with it. And that's what UK and Germany just did. It's just that some part of the conscience of the Germans is telling them you have done wrong thing. And we really appreciate the Germans for still coming up to say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm returning I'm returning your artifacts, but I want to still keep some.
Oh, that's so nice of them. They're just so nice. I just love them.
They tried compared to the UK. I'm going to return some. I'm actually returning some, but there are some that no. I want to permanently hold this one and forcefully determine it that it will be on loan. That's not on loan. That's what we call forceful ownership of a stolen item. And now, you remember there was a time that I did a little bit of research, because I am from a place called Badagry in Nigeria. I'm a Lagosian, and a lot of all these atrocities happened in my own village. Even when they steal, when they kidnap and they are stealing men from Africa, different part of Nigeria, different part of Africa, they transport these men through my own village. which is Badagry. It is at this Badagry you have a place called the Point of No Return. And I tell you, till date, it is part of my family that are the Bale, the chief, the king that are in the kingship of such areas. And there are about 2 museums right there before the ocean. Is it what kind of ocean do they even call it? Before the ocean that they usually use to transport these people. Let me just share with you guys a little bit of the documentary I did about that. I want you guys to just take a little, just have a little of the documentary I shot about what actually happened in Africa. It was at this period they were taking away a lot of all these beautiful artifacts, and it was painful. Just listen.
This is the point at which we'll say, welcome to Mobi. Mobi in Badagry happens to be a place you need to visit. Whenever you come to Badagry and you want to learn about what actually transpired in the city of Badagry and the whole of Nigeria, you need to come here to have a clear understanding of how our strong men were handled, mishandled, mismanaged, and misutilized by the so-called foreign powers that we are all crying and shouting hey to. I tell you, a visit to this place will open your eyes. You will discover the history of what our black men went through. I want to control myself. I do not want to see myself going too emotional about what has happened. But what this is driving me into is the fact that I want to be part of those that will make the ordinary black man to stand with their chest high and to say, we can do better. Once again, welcome to Mobi Museum, where heritage is well preserved. Follow me. Lying here, simply, you are looking at 200 men lying there on the floor, because each of these cannon guns you are looking at is in exchange for 100 slaves per one. And you can imagine that that is just for the cannon gun. So having 2 cannon guns for 200 vibrant, fully agile Africans. And after the cannon gun has been gotten by these so-called slave masters, you still need to exchange another set of human beings to get the cannon gunpowder. Painful thing is that the exchange for this cannon gun, in which 200 African slaves had to go for, was actually a means of using our fellow black men to fight against ourselves, so that we can continue to sell our vibrant African youth into the hand of the so-called slave masters. But thank God that in the year 1886, the same cannon gun was part of what we, the Badagry people, used to demand for our freedom. Welcome to the place where history of what we Africans, the beautiful, natured, and well-forgiving. I tell you, Africans are very, very well forgiving. We forgive a lot because we only take somebody that can forgive to just forget about what has been done.
Here had a real change used on our forefathers during the period of slave trade. Transatlantic slave trade lasted for about 350 to 400 years in Badagry. And Badagry during that period was known to be a slave corridor. Just as it practiced in Calabar, we have a slave market in Calabar called Eyong Slave Market. Here in Badagry, we have a market called Lekete Slave Market. Now, The black people usually bring their slaves to Badagry. They don't have access to the white people, so they sell to people of Badagry, while the people of Badagry sell to the white men. So in the market days in Badagry, over 300 slaves were sold every market days. Over 17,000 slaves sold annually here in Badagry. So the change here were views on our forefathers then. As soon as they hand over slaves to the white people, they put in around them. And thank God for the life of the man buried there, Chief Sumbu Mobi. The father of the man buried there was a middleman between the white and the black. He buys slaves from the black and sells to the white men. The father and other 7 chiefs in Badagry signed the Treaty of the Abolition of Slavery in the year 1852. But the Portuguese slave merchants were still coming to Badagry. The father died. The son doesn't like the business. So in the year 1886, he waged war against the Portuguese slave merchant. He now sees the last vessel that was leaving Badagry that year. The slave inside the vessel, these are the chains around their neck. The father was nicknamed Mobi by the white men. Whenever they come around to buy slaves, the father, he doesn't understand English. So we always entertain the white people with kola nut. And he tells them Yoruba language, Mobije. These people doesn't understand what he was saying. So they gave him a nickname, Chief Mobi. The family now adopts that name Mobi as a family name. Mobi is now a chieftain's title in Badagry of today. So if not for the son that waged war against them in the year 1886,
Can you stop
will
it
last
for a
longer.
second?
And he died on the 16th October 1893. This is great. Back to the
Okay.
chain. This is called the neck lock. And this is what a slave will have around his or her neck. Work in the farm with this for 18 hours every day. While traveling, this will be around them for 3 to 4 months before they get to their final destination. You can feel the weight of the chain.
My goodness. My goodness. You know, my goodness. I'm trying to just gather words to express, oh my God. You know, if you can use this as gymming, you can use this to gym as a trainer. You can use this for workout. If this is actually what these guys have come here to do, then I wonder if they are really human beings. And the question that comes to mind is that when you subject a human being that is just like yourself to this kind of punishment, and you are also buying this slave to go and work out for you over there, how do you think they are going to even survive with this? Another part of it is the fact that I find it painful that some of our black brothers are also into this,
Business.
selling fellow human beings to the whites. So painful a thing.
So
Like what's the weight of this chain?
this is close to 50 kg. The belief of the white men is if the slave can actually carry this for that long, they will have more strength. So if they can survive this, then they can withstand any situation in life. So this is called the neck lock, and this is called the mouth plate. We have 2 categories of slaves. We have slaves that work in the house, and we have slaves that work in the farm. Those that work in the house, we call them domestic slaves. Those that work in the farm, we call them field slaves or plantation slaves. Because the white people are afraid that when slaves communicate to one another while working on the farm, they may revolt. Or because they don't want them to eat while working on the farm, they pierce the lips of the plantation slaves, the lower and the upper lips. In the morning when they are set to go to the work, they put this on their mouth and padlock their mouth like this, for them not to eat or talk while working in the farm. This is called the light chain. Light chain, and this is used on the hands of the small children. There was a time this people look at it that coming down to Badagry is expensive. They have some people, they call them the breeders. Their job is to sleep with female slaves, impregnate them, just like we have baby factory today. Now, then your wealth will be determined by the numbers of slaves you have, not by the money you have in your account. So the children, as soon as they give birth, is for the day one is a slave. And these children were usually not allowed to move closer to their parents while working on the farm. So they usually group the children together. They chain them, like 3 of them, they chain their hands together, make them sit under a tree, far away from where their parents are working, for them not to distract their parents while working or step on what the parent has planted. So this is called a light chain. And this is a torture weapon. This is used on slave who refuse an order made by a white man, or for slave who refuse to work in the farm. They force their hand into this, down to the wrist. Most of the time, they will need to break the bone before this will get to the wrist. After forcing this to the wrist, they made the slave climb the platform. The master also climbs the platform. Then they screw this up to a tall tree. The master comes down and removes the platform. The slave will now be suspended in the tree, jingling from morning to night. Most of the time, they prefer to punish in the farm, so that while other slaves are working in the farm, they see that slaves, and that will serve as a deterrent to other slaves. This is called the ankle lock. And this is used on 2 slaves at a time. Whenever they are going out in the morning, they have this around their neck, and this will be on their ankle for 2 of them together, for them not to run away. Because their belief is once they move faster than the white people, they can remove this chain and run away. So this will have to be on their leg to reduce their movement. And 2 of them will have to share this.
2 legs in this. My goodness.
So the 2 of them, their leg, one leg, and they will need to work with this around their ankle.
My goodness.
At the same time.
I want us to just look at how bad could be spelt. Having 2 grown human legs in between this, and you still expect them to walk freely for you and to walk with a great mind. I wonder if this set of human beings are really carrying a heart around for them to be doing this.
This is called the branding iron. During the period of slave trade, slaves don't bear names. They bear the name of their master. And for the master to be able to identify his slaves, he will need to write his name on the body of the slaves. So, as soon as they hand over slaves to them, they write their name on the body of the slaves. And also, like 10, 15 slave masters can come to Badagry at a time to buy slaves. They are using just one vessel to transport their slaves back to their destination. For them to be able to identify their slaves, they use this to write the name on the body of the slaves. They put this in fire when this is red hot, then they use it to write the name on the body of the slaves. And this is what we have adopted as fashion today. In Nigeria today, or Lagos or Abeokuta, for example, we have some family with English names. These are the people that returned back after the abolition of slave trade. We have Brazilian quarters in Lagos. They returned back after the abolition of slave trade. These people were not from Lagos, but they have nowhere to go. They have to settle down in Brazil. In Lagos, you hear names like Smith, Cole, Darusha, Da Silva, Bucknor. All those names were not Nigerian names. They are adopted names from the white people. So the white people usually use this to write name on their body, so as for them to be able to identify their slaves. The second function of this is to pierce the lips of the slaves before they padlock it. And the last function, the foot of any slave that tried to run away being captured. Running away is the greatest offense there. So whenever any slave tries to run away being captured, they put this in fire, put the leg of the slave on the fallen tree, and eat this into the foot of the slave while red hot. They pierce the leg or break the bone inside the leg. And that's why you call this branding iron or bone breaker. But in a situation whereby they are unable to capture that slaves alive, they have dogs, they are free to run after such slaves. As soon as the dog gets hold of the slaves, they cut off the throat of the slaves. And the dog will go back to the master with blood in his mouth. In a situation whereby the dog doesn't return on time, they release more dogs to go after the slaves. The white people would rather prefer slaves to die than for that slave to run away. This was the money we spent in Africa in those days, cowries. But the white people doesn't recognize this as money. And that led to the introduction of trade by barter. During the period of slave trade, a bottle of dry gin, whiskey, brandy, or wine was in essence of 10 human beings.
10 good human beings. 10 good human beings are exchanged for just this. It shows how reckless these guys are. And it shows how less thinking some of us are to each other. 10 human.
Even up to date, we believe that whatever that comes from their hand is better than whatever we have in Africa. Today now, we don't have anything of our own. We depend on the white people to survive in Nigeria, which is not supposed to be. What we have is good enough to sustain us in Africa. Mirror was the nesting of 10 human beings because our people have not seen themselves in a mirror before. So when they brought mirror to them, it was like a magic seeing themselves in a mirror. So for that, they were exchanging human beings for a mirror for 10 human beings. This is small size of the cannon gun outside. This was a nesting of 40 human beings, and the big one for 100 human beings. Why do we need this? They brought this to us to wage war against ourselves, so that we capture slaves and sell back to the white people. Sir, during the period of slave trade, whenever the white people approach you for the business, if you refuse to join the trade, somebody close by is ready to sell you. Or the white people is ready to kill you and kill your entire family. Kill you, capture your people, and take them out of the country. So the only option you have is to join the trade. This Badagry we have presently is not the original Badagry. The original Badagry is at the back of the water, ahead of us. So it's because the white people were coming to capture our people was the reason why they moved down here. And when they moved down here, they negotiated with our head. Okay, we will not capture you people again. The only thing you can do for us is to helping us to buy slaves. Then we will settle. That was when they introduced the business to our forefathers in Badagry. Over there is a slave drinking water bowl.
What is this one?
That's Kolanut. It's the source of the Mobi family name.
Okay.
Here's the slave drinking water bowl. 40 to 50 slaves are meant to drink water from this bowl at a time. They drink with their hand being tied to the back. So they bend down, lip water like dog. Now for pregnant woman, for somebody who could not bend down, they give one handful of water for 1 day. In the course of trying to drink water, they push one another. You get caught by the edge of the pot. Their blood drips into the water. They will still have to drink the water like that because they have access to food and water once in a day. Over here, in British West Indies, slavery was abolished in the year 1833, and the British government and the Portuguese government used Badagry as a battleground in those days because both of them want to be in control of Badagry because of the slaves they are getting from here. So when the trade was abolished in British, the British government supported us in Badagry to wage war against the Portuguese slave nation. And you decide that most of the slaves taken out of Africa, majority of them were taken to Brazil. And that is why when you get to Brazil now, you see that most of our culture, the Yoruba land are practiced in Brazil. They went there with their gods. And any slave from that end usually trace their roots back to Badagry. Because in Brazil, you see Yoruba people there. And the only place we have Yoruba in Africa is Nigeria. So, the trade was abolished in Australia in the year 1861 and United States in 1863. In Brazil, slave trade was abolished in the year 1886. That was 2 years after the trade was abolished in Badagry, when there was no slaves for them to sell in their market. The trade was abolished in Africa in the year 1870. That was 60 years after the trade was abolished in Africa. It was abolished in Badagry by the help of Shishubu Mobi. Now, Shishubu Mobi fought them in the year 1886. I don't know if it was an early missionary that came to Badagry that preached to him. All I know is that when they signed the Treaty of the Abolition of Slave Trade in the year 1852, the first missionary that came to Badagry, that is the Methodist missionary, and the Anglican missionary were those that witnessed the signing of the treaty signed by Badagry people and the British government in the year 1852. Lastly, what really made Badagry to be the biggest market in those days is the spirit attenuation well. We have this well at the point of no return, and there's still water inside since that time till date.
Okay, I'm going to stop the video here. I actually have this documentary on this channel. I'll leave the link in the comment section so that we can go through it at our own pace. But why did I need to show us this? I just tried to take us back for us to see the process with which these so-called vampires entered into the territory of the Africans and decided to do what? Maim, kill, extort, steal, rape our women, just destabilize what is already ongoing in Africa. The progress you have in most all of these countries that you are today, that are calling themselves the world powers of the world, you will discover the foundation was laid on the blood of Africans. And while we are still trying to lend the world forgiveness and moving on, which is one fast thing that Africans are known to possess in high level, we forgive easily. But the painful thing is that our so-called grandchildren of the evil peddlers of mayhem are not helping the matters. Instead of righting the wrong that their forefathers have done, they are now coming in to play what we call the smart game. What is the smart game? It simply remains what I lifted up out of the conversation that was made before, that we are going to be doing what we call permanently loan the artifact to them. What is permanently loaning what your forefathers have stolen from us with huge killings and the likes? But that is not, on this channel, we are not just coming here to talk about challenges. We are looking at challenges and looking for way to provide solutions to the challenges that have been created by these so-called monsters that are masquerading as human beings. And that is why we, on this channel, we have decided to help in training some of these youths whose parents cannot afford to support them in learning one skill or craft. And by so doing, we have been consistent at it for the past 2 going to 3 years. And aside that, every Christmas period like this, what we do is simple. We look for different locations, different slums, different shanties where these youths are growing in their large population. Where these families are going in their large population. Okay.
Very
Well,
correct,
Autumn Rose says
Anthony.
permanently loaning is equal to stealing. Very well.
Yes.
Very well. So what we do is, because we discover that our youth need to be educated, because it's like the forefathers of these so-called humans that are still talking about permanently loaning what their forefathers stole, the grandchildren have been indoctrinated into the same lifestyle of what? Continuous stealing from Africa. So we are also trying our best to educate, to train Africans in crafts and skills that can permanently give them source of income that is not going to be following the curriculum that is not useful to us in Africa. Because thousands and millions of our youths are graduating from the university
without job,
and they come out to join a queue of what? The unemployed. How soon are we going to be watching this to happen? That is why we set up our foundation to help train these youths in numerous crafts, buy them startup machines, and also bring them to the platform where they can be able to sell their products to the world. And every Christmas, we go out there trying to buy live chicken and foodstuff, providing this for the less privileged families. And as such, this will be the 3rd year that we're going to do that. And let me tell you, early morning tomorrow, between some few hours of the morning, we are going to be out there distributing live chicken to families that are not able to afford live chicken or chicken for Christmas. It will shock you that some families only eat chicken on Christmas, not because they are in a continent that could not afford their life standard to be more than that. But because some persons are continue to what? To permanently loan what they are stealing from us. Just the same way, refineries are not working in this country because some persons are permanently happy that we are importing fuel into this country, so that everything in Nigeria, so that everything in Africa continues to be raw materials. And these raw materials, remember, they have no high value pricing. And as such, since they have no high value pricing, it means they want Africa to permanently be receiving what we call stipends, whereby they take it over there, refine it, and bring it to us and sell at exorbitant prices. It's a shame. But we are not going to fold our hands. We are still going to try to see what we can do to relieve the poor, the less privileged. And that is why we are begging you to please join us tomorrow live on our foundation channel, where we are going to be it's called Cetros Foundation, where we are going to be distributing live chicken. We just got a few because there was economic crunch and it was massive, and as such we got just few chickens to deliver to some few families tomorrow morning. Isn't that how life should be? That we should just forget about ourselves sometimes and help to assist the less privileged, instead of cutting them, chaining their legs, selling them like a piece of metal that has no feeling. So that is why we are employing you. If you would like to support in training a youth, you can pick up the training of a particular youth and see that youth all through the training period to the point where we hand over the machines for their craft, their startup machines for their craft and equipment, so that they can be on their own. Because one of the agreements they are signing with us is that what? To train 3 other African youths for free after they themselves has been well established. This is our journey so far, and we are so happy that we have a lot of persons over here supporting us. For this year, we were able to realize about 120, what's that? This year, we were able to realize about $120 until this afternoon, when Dr. Ojo, is a pity that Dr. Ojo couldn't join us, assisted us with additional 50,000 naira for us to procure some numbers of live chicken, which we are going to be sharing in the morning of tomorrow, so that we want to bring the smiles to those that are feeling neglected, to tell them there is still hope, even in the dark tunnel. Even when some still want to permanently be loaning us, we have refused to be loaned. So that is the story. And we are so glad you are here.
Thank you to all that have always
those
been there,
yeah,
supporting us on this channel, sending in $1, $2, sharing our videos, and to all that helped us train our youth thus far, and even that have been helping us during the Christmas chicken distribution. God bless you mightily, and you want to know that your reward shall never miss. You are not going to miss your reward. And for those that are still willing to help us, please, our GoFundMe account is displayed. $1, $10, $1,000, whatever you send, you're going to see how it's being spent, and everything is really out. You can send for our account. And I want to say thank you. God bless you. So you could just share this and help us. And as you do, the Lord will bless you. Thank you so very much.
So, with that being said, Jim, are you there?
I'm here. Yeah, you're a microphone hog. You stayed on the thing for over 35 minutes. Couldn't even interact with you. I tried to ask you to stop the video because I couldn't understand the man's dialect, so I could follow the story properly. And I asked you to stop for a second, and you ignored me. And I'm like, I'm trying to be interactive here. I was trying to figure out. He said there was a guy who was he would speak to the white man, and excuse me,
Sorry.
and I couldn't keep track of the story because the man spoke very fast, and I wanted to keep up with the
Oh,
story.
sorry.
And you were like, you just passed me by. I was
Oh.
trying to ask, I'm
Friend.
saying I want to learn, okay? And I want to
Oh.
be able to spread the word if I have to talk to somebody and I'm like, hey, about this and what happened there. I want to learn. So, like, I mean, I sat there patiently and listened, and I thought it was a great content, by the way. And by the way, when you opened up that segment, did you get that on the first take?
Did I do what?
When you did your that video that you started with, you went right to the statue and the monument out front. Did you
Yes.
did you get it on the first take, or did you do it
Yes.
like 20 times?
No. I did it. I did it once.
Yes.
I did it once.
That was very professionally done.
Whoa,
That was
whoa.
really brilliant. You should be on TV doing news channels or something like that. You have excellent skill like that. You are so
Wow.
good. You
Wow.
have great presentation on camera. But
Wow.
you know me, I'm kind of corny. I want to be able to have a discussion sometimes, and I understand you guys. You're building character in people, and that's more important. So I have no argument other than just please go to the GoFundMe page. By the way, I think you should be putting up the Patreon link because you see, let's say somebody wants to give $5 a month because they can afford it, instead of like, oh, every time they see your channel, it's like, well, I donated to the GoFundMe account, but like, I'm trying to encourage people to go to your Patreon account and just be a lifetime kind of member thing, where you give a certain amount every month, and you don't, if you miss the show, you don't have to worry, you're still giving. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what, Jim? The why I prefer using GoFundMe is because the initial purpose why the what's it called?
Lord,
Patron. The initial reason why the Patron is it Patron channel or what? What they call it?
This channel.
The initial reason why Patron was open was for the maintenance of this channel. Are you with me?
Yeah.
It was for the maintenance because when we set up this channel,
We
never had a foundation. All the support that we are getting from the patron was just for the maintenance of our channel, running costs, fuel, and maybe we are going from one place to the other, travels to cover this youth and to cover this thing that we're doing then. So we do not want to, apart from you that is maybe contributing something into our Patreon for what's it called, for youth support. I don't think there is any other person there that is doing that, because we always direct them. If you are saying anything is for the foundation, this thing, go to GoFundMe.
Okay.
And put it there.
And those that are sending through.
And
well,
those
can I cancel the Patreon thing then and just?
Sorry, and those that were sending through Patreon, they used to send us a note that this is for
the channel upkeep.
the channel upkeep, or for the what's it called, the youth specific the foundation youth need. So we don't want to mix everything up so that we can be accountable, because we running this channel is not even, this channel has even been demonetized. We running this channel, everything that we are doing is at a cost. You understand? So that's why we do not want people to be clogged up. We want everyone to be like, oh, is it GoFundMe that is actually set up for these African youth?
Yes.
So that
okay, that makes sense. I agree, because what you're doing is you're saying, let's just create a big pool instead of having individuals coming to the Patreon site. I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. So what I'll do then is I'll cancel my Patreon account, and then what I'll do is just give that money to the right now I'm only doing 15. So I can put the 15 in the GoFundMe account. Is that better?
That would be perfect. That would be perfect.
Okay.
It makes it easier for us because if you are saying that the society should be run properly, we are also trying our best to make sure that we are also running our own thing properly so that it's not mixed up. And if you look at even on the GoFundMe, the total that come into the GoFundMe is not more than $50.
All right.
Yes.
I understand.
So
The Patreon.
sorry, I mean the Patreon. What is
I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant.
What is coming to the Patreon is not more than $50. Even so,
Yeah.
we do so many running
I hear you.
that are more than that.
And it's better to put the money in the GoFundMe account because you have your principal leader and then you have your foundation. I mean, with Dr. Ojo representing that, he's somebody who's he's Pan-American, correct? In other words, he's working for the military of America, but he's from your country, and that is a really good cross between, if you're promoting this GoFundMe channel, it's nice for Westerners to see something like that, because they do want to see that there's an African who believes in America, who also wants to get back to Africa. You know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly. So I think Dr. Ojo is having a challenge linking up with us today.
He's probably in the train right now.
He sent his chat to us, and I think you should read it. Just read his chat.
Said its contributions are this. The reason they stole or took those artifacts from Africa is one, our people already revealed some hidden secrets of the powers they derived from those artifacts. And two, also because some Africans worship those images and got wonders and miracles through them.
Okay.
And
hold on. Autumn Rose says, I have to go. Thank you. All love, peace, good. Autumn Rose, we are so glad and we appreciate you. You said you will send us an email in a couple of days about your support. Wow.
Thank you
so very much. If you have the time, join us live tomorrow to see how we distribute the little gift we have for the less privileged. Okay. Thank you. Continue.
So number two, also because some Africans worship those images and got wonders and miracles through them. And I think they know if they are gods, then it becomes easy to gain control over the Africans. I think he's trying to say if they know they become their gods, then they will gain control over the Africans. Then number three, those artifacts are beautiful and cost a lot. It can be likened to a kind of Federal Reserve of today in the Western nation. Imagine the cost of making them in terms of labor, material, and the spirits invoked on those artifacts that made people worship and get power through them. It's deep. You can share those on the screen. Thank you.
Okay. That's a great one from Dr. Ojo.
You're not supposed to worship idols, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Hello?
Oh, no, I just wanted to make a point because that's what Dr. Ojo was kind of bringing up.
No, Dr. Ojo was trying to say.
Dr. Ojo was trying to say that these artifacts were more than just a piece of metal. They have spiritual backings.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I understand that part.
So, and anyone coming into an entire different place to take what these people have already built as a system of belief, faith in, and the like. So, we really appreciate
so very much.
Someone just sent $10 to the GoFundMe.
Thank you so very much. God bless you.
This is great. We really appreciate this. Thank you so very much. I think is there a way I could get the name?
Let me look for the name.
Kindly help me look for the name.
This is the name.
Okay, let's see the name. Really appreciate you for that contribution. You know, as one of our friends will say, one fully basket, one fully basket. And Nubini, we always say the squeaky wheel, squeaky wheel
Gets the oil.
gets the oil. So we are so grateful. This is how we can impact our world. Just one at a
Yona
okay.
Clator.
Oh, Yona Clator.
Yes.
Wow. This
Thank you so
this is
very
great.
much,
Yona Clator,
Yona.
we really appreciate you. Thank you so very much for that contribution. And we believe that you'll be seeing the results of this in the life of those that we are going to be impacting. That is wonderful. So, what are we talking about? When people steal from Africa and you now call Africa a thief, are you kidding me? In Nigeria, we say, are you whining me? Don't whine me, because if you are calling somebody that you stole from a thief, then you are a thiefer.
Ajibole.
If there is any word like that,
You know the meaning of Ajibole? The
master of all thieves.
Ole, Ajibole. That's how it.
So I just believe that Africans are waking up, and we should wake up very well and on time. I really appreciate Ghana, because Ghana stood up and said, no, you know what? If you are going to continue to always be coming to take our cocoa to produce your chocolate in
we are establishing the chocolate factory.
Come and set up the chocolate industry in Ghana.
Oh, God will bless
I love that guy.
The Ghanaian president.
Those are the kind of people that should be ruling the countries in the continent of
and
Africa.
Rwanda and Kigali.
Kigali is also trying. Kigame is also trying, because the economy of his country is improving. Rwanda is a changed country now, and a lot is happening there. And funny enough, I saw one particular news that has been like a trouble to me. I'm trying to phantom him.
US can't bully him.
No, not even that. The one that they said those that are being deported from the Western countries are going to be deported to Rwanda. Please check out that story. I find it interesting, because I'm trying to phantom it. Does it now automatically make Rwanda the reservoir of deportees, African deportees? Anyway, I don't know much how my
Dr. Great
finding
is
out from
sending
that.
a conclusion. He said, I think Africa needs to ask for what was stolen or taken from Africa, Africans. So they need to demand for them with compensation. Imagine what God told the Israelites to do at Egypt prior to leaving. He told them to go into the houses of the Egyptians to demand for their gold, etc. After all, it was God through Joseph that built the nation and helped them discover those gold and wealth. And he laughed. He said, that's what Africans need to do regarding the artifacts that was taken from African countries. So we have to have for
let me tell you this. Do you know why some Africa? Okay, you want to say something? Go, Jim.
Yeah. Did you know in California the Gavin Newsom is our governor? Do you know about that? Right. Our governor in California is Gavin Newsom.
No.
Did you know? Okay. So you know he is GAVINEWSOME. That's his name. Anyway, he just went on. He's on a campaign to get reparations back to Africans here in California, and he's offering $232,000 if you have proof of your grandparents being owned. So there is hope. I mean, this stuff is coming around. People are understanding that, there's change, happening right now in the world. And I think what Dr. Ojo is kind of making the point of that right there. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, there's a lot of arguments here that some people believe that they're not of the descendants.
Why do we call this?
Wow. I'm listening.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You put a video on, but it's an interesting thing because some people believe that they're not involved with it, like they didn't have anything to do with it. That doesn't matter. Their parents, their great grandparents, they were involved, and believe it or not, that's how they got to where they are right now. I mean, everybody has to realize that, you know, there's a long tradition, and I do have some pushback on a different subject, but I think it's too toxic to bring up, so I won't do that here. But I mean, maybe I should bring it up, but I don't know. Maybe you would take offense to it.
Maybe you should not bring it up.
When we go to Rambo, you bring it up.
And you know the funniest stuff, when I was doing this research, I think I mentioned it somewhere in the video. At a particular point in time, that was when I ran into the chief of that village. That chief was my uncle. I never knew he was the chief of. He was like the king in charge of that environment.
That's where I was going with. I was going to that. I was going to that avenue. I was going to say there's some pushback because I mean, there's a little pushback. But anyway, it's a good. You guys are exactly right. I think that America needs to come around and realize that its involvement with the trade, slave trade, is something that needs to be healed still. I don't think Martin Luther King did enough work on it because he was assassinated, so that's obvious. And then Malcolm X did a great job. He woke up, you know, a lot of people society-wise and realized that the politics weren't favoring, you know, both Malcolm X and Martin Luther King are just great heroes. So all I'm saying is, if there was a better chance for something to happen, I think getting people out of poverty, what Gavin Newsom is doing, you know, trying to say, hey, look, we're going to give you $232,000. And, you know, you should look it up. It's very interesting. I think you could make a whole talk show about this. If it actually comes through and it happens, that's a different story.
Okay.
Because, you know, Americans are not going to agree with that. They're going to go, look, I wasn't involved. That's what they're going to say.
Okay. I think I will just wait and see it happen before I talk about it, because Americans, Europeans, what have you, they've made a lot of promises and it never happened.
Never happened, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
So what I believe we can just do is to make sure that we help these youths that want to run to America, that want to run to Canada. They don't need to run. If you have any African youth around you that is willing to learn a craft or a skill, please kindly link up with us. Let's see how genuine they are. We have a means of training them.
Yep, and I'll train anybody that wants to do hydroponics.
Whoa, we really appreciate this. We really appreciate this. We got another $10
From Jason.
Nice, good game.
from Jessica Ibla.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you.
Jessica Ibla just sent in another $10 from Jessica Ibla.
Thank you.
We really
so very
appreciate
much.
you.
Thank you.
This
much.
is really
Massive.
great. This is really great. And please, let me state it here. It's good that you are supporting the Cetros Foundation financially so that we can help more youths. We also beg of you to do this. One, kindly be on ground to follow what we do in helping these youth, so that you'll be able to monitor your funds, how your little contribution is being expended. And we want you to also support us with ideas to change. Is ideas. It's not money that changes the world. It's ideas that changes the world. Ideas on how we can change this, our youth. Maybe you know how something is running in your country that is of benefit to this, our youth. Please join it. I'm going to drop our WhatsApp line here because we are also building a community of people that want to to support us with ideas. Oh, do this for this youth. Oh, I observe this. Can you do this for this youth? We are calling on people. See, the strength of any organization is about the strength of ideas that are being dropped every now and then. Please, kindly, I'm so sorry, I'll just be typing this. Kindly support us with ideas on how to impact our youth via this WhatsApp number. My WhatsApp number is 234-8179591789. I think I got that right. Plus 234-8179. Please, we treasure all your contribution. More importantly, support us with ideas. Share ideas of how your foundation in your country. Some of you are in more, sorry to say, more beautiful country, more better organized countries than our own country. We know that we are getting there. So we want to learn from you. Share ideas with us. Tell us how they are running things over there that is making it easier for your youth, where we are able to copy some of those ideas so that we can improve our youth. I'm not very happy seeing our youth trying to run away from this continent into your country, because that will negatively impact your country resources, whether you like it or not. And as such, please, we look forward to people with ideas, or you are skilled in one craft or the other. If you are skilled in one craft or the other, and you are willing to just do a video to educate our youth in such skill, we welcome you. This is our foundation's phone number, a WhatsApp number. Reach out to us. There was a lady that was helping to train our youth. She did a video to train them in jewelry making, and it was wonderful. She even sent us laptop to give to one of the youth. Please, we are open. Support us with anything that you can. Support us with ideas, materials, we have a youth. We have a youth presently with us that is very, very interested in learning photography, and we've just trained him for 1 month plus, and presently he's doing very, very good at the job, but he needs a laptop to help him work with, because what we have to do now is that we have to be running shifts. We have just one laptop that is working at the foundation presently. We have to be running shifts. I will work on the laptop for so time. I'll wait for him to work. For some days now, he has been coming overnight to work so that I can utilize the laptop to work while I'm asleep, or if we have to do a particular time. So please, if you have some of these laptops at home, some of you have some laptops at home that you are not using, send it to us at the foundation. It will be an honor, and it will help a lot of youth. We have several of these youths. We can't just, all of them are waiting for one laptop. So please, we really, then ideas, concept, how to go about this. Oh, Central's foundation, Central, you guys should do this. It will really, really help. We appreciate all of you. We appreciate those that contributed for the Christmas chicken training of this, our youth. We cannot do this without you. We really blessed. Oh, Dr. Ojo is here. We really appreciate you guys, and this, I tell you, is so important to us. So, Dr. Ojo, we have read all your comments, and we are about wrapping up. Very well. We've read, and before you come on board now, we had two donors. Two people just supported us on GoFundMe. $10 each, and that, I say, that is fantastic. We really appreciate this.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yes, we mentioned their name.
The Christmas chicken.
I think it's towards the Christmas chicken and towards the training of the youth. So already we will use it for any of the two. So far we can, because the banks in Nigeria are closed now, and they won't be open until until 28th. So definitely whatever is coming in now will be used for training, because the Christmas chicken, we are doing that very early tomorrow morning. So any money that has come in now will be towards the training of our African youth, because they don't need to beg, they need to be trained so that they can have a craft. I learned that in the United States, plumbing is making more money there as a craft. So why not let us develop culture of craft and skill in this
sounds
youth,
good. Sounds
so
good.
that they
Sounds good.
can.
We need more. Thank you to them.
Yeah. So we are wrapping up. Dr. Ojo, it's like you're freezing. Okay, Jim Barak, your closing remarks.
Thank you for having me today. It was a great conversation. Please, everybody, if you get a chance, go to the GoFundMe page. The gentleman, Dr. Ojo, represents this foundation, and he is a true leader, and I have 100% faith in the man. And with the support of Deo and Joke, I have a complete confidence in this foundation, and I build upon, doing things that, in other words, you stay involved, you keep involved. Sometimes I run into, I personally can't go and burden myself by telling you what has happened to me, because with money wise, financials wise, but I can tell you this, that I'm not giving up in hope. I'm not giving up in any way. So thank you once again. It's an honor to be here. And thank you for that today. Great conversation.
Well, thank you so much, Jim. I think today's turn for Dr. Ojo to have bad network. So his network is busy. So from every one of us, I want to say thank you so very much. In case you are seeing this live stream, please like this live stream, share, and if you want to support the foundation and what we are doing, kindly see our GoFundMe.
So we'll be live on Cetros Foundation
tomorrow
on YouTube tomorrow in the morning.
Yes.
And on
Instagram.
Thank you so very much.
Bye bye. Love you.